I am super excited to welcome our next guest, Nikki Kimbrough, to the show, guys. Nikki is a personal friend of mine, and she is a top fitness expert, personal trainer for over 20 years, and entrepreneur. She is CEO and founder of Get Fit with Nick Inc., a TV personality and Broadway performer, executive producer and creator of the Ladies First Chit Chat Cruise Show, a former NCAA and professional athlete. Nikki teaches for Daily Burn 365 and is an ambassador for one of the top fitness apparel companies, Lululemon. She is a fitness contributor for Time Inc., Business Insider, Essence, Fitness, and Shape magazines. According to Nikki, she helps you find your fit, finding what makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes it's deeper than push-ups and squats. Please join me in welcoming Nikki Kimbrough to Wellness Redefined. Nikki, I am super excited to get this conversation started because I absolutely adore you. Everything that you
Oh,
do, everything you put out in the world, your energy is always just so wonderful. So thank you
oh.
so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I mean, I feel the feeling is mutual. I told you when I met you and I sent you that message, I wasn't in the best space that day. Just so much had been going on and I gotten some sad news. And when I saw you, I was just like, hi. I was like, I'm gonna be just fine. That's how I felt.
Yes. And I was like, I've been following and I said, I gotta meet this woman. She's amazing. I love it. So thank you so much for being on Wellness Redefined with me because we know you've been in the fitness industry for a while now. So you know all the things and all the untruths and all the gibberish that's out there. But first, before we get into all of that, just talk us through kind of just when you first fell in love with health and wellness yourself.
It's weird. I think I've really been into health and wellness since I was a kid. I didn't really know it. I ran track. I ran track in elementary school. Like in elementary school, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, and I was like the fastest girl in the field day, in the citywide field day. And then I went to middle school and ended up being the fastest girl in the county. And then when I went to high school, ended up being one of the fastest people in the nation. And I ended up going to University of Virginia on a track and field scholarship. And I ran professionally after that when I was in grad school. And it was then like, so fitness has always been a part of my life. And then also I was a singer and a dancer. So just wellness has always been a part, but it didn't hit me until I was in graduate school. I was assistant coach for Cicero North Syracuse High School because I went to grad school in Syracuse. And then after that, I started I became a personal trainer just because people started asking me with my track background, "Nikki, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me?" And then I ended up moving to New York City. I really moved to New York City. I was in the Lion King workshop chorus and I was preparing to go into the show overseas and there was a hiring freeze and my master's degree is in PR. And in the midst of that, I got offered a job to the WNBA. And then I knew I wanted to pursue the acting. And I was like, but I need a job. If I take this WNBA PR job, that's gonna be my life. I knew it because I loved it. So I was like, my best friend at the time, boyfriend said, "Isn't Nikki a trainer?" I was like, "Oh yes, I am a trainer." And so about to date myself, I ended up becoming a trainer for Bally Total Fitness. And then 6 months after I became a trainer for Bally Total Fitness, I ended up becoming one of their four spokespeople for Bally's. And I did that for almost 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So becoming one of the first spokespeople for Bally's, how was that experience?
It was amazing. They were looking for a fourth spokesperson. They wanted a Black woman. And my PT director at the time knew that the people that were coming to make the decision were the people, the head people, the corporate people at Valley based in Chicago, was the public relations department. And my master's degree is in PR. So the great thing about it is when I went in, it was like this, they were speaking my language. And also, you know what happened? When I was a spokesperson for Bally's, all of my loves came together. The public relation publicist part came together. My performance came together and my track and field fitness knowledge came together. So all three of my loves came together. I was on the Wayne Brady show, Tony Danza. At the time I was the CBS girl. Then things I ended up going on Good Morning America and stuff when I became Get Fit with Nick. But it was one of the best experiences of my life. Um, I really I was a younger trainer back then. I was in my 20s. And then I ended up being in my early 30s. And I learned so much from my mentors. They're still my mentors in health and fitness. But I was also able to find my own voice. I was able to take my expertise coupled with things that I had learned, but then find my own voice within my clients and the people. And that actually led me to Get Fit with Nick. Valley ended up filing for bankruptcy. I ended up getting laid off. And that's when Reebok was coming in, Equinox owns Reebok and 24-hour fitness and everything was coming in. And a lot of my colleagues, that's where they were going. And I went, I'm gonna open up my own business because I work for the corporate Valley and based out of Chicago, and also the Valley Sports Club on 32nd Street. And that's when I opened up Get Fit with Nick, and it just, my whole motto is I help you find your fit. I help you find what makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But that didn't come till later. But yeah, I opened up Get Fit with Nick, and I ended up getting on tour with the Broadway National Tour Dream Girls. So I ended up training my castmates and still doing my fitness thing and singing and dancing all at the same time. So it's the beginning phases of my fitness journey was great. To
Yeah.
me, it was I didn't realize it till I got older. It was more aesthetic based. Whereas now,
Mhm.
as a woman in my 40s and have gone through trials and tribulations, have gained weight, have released weight, it's really about finding your fit. It's really about finding what makes you feel good. And I always say it's deeper than push-ups and squats because, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit more, I just going through some things. I gained weight, I ended up gaining 30 pounds. I think it was the best thing that happened to me because I got to really relate to my clients. I realized what it felt like to be a comfort eater, a stress eater, or this, or that, or that. And of course, as a trainer, I know how to drop weight like that, but there was a disconnect there, and I had to figure out what that was. And once I figured out what it was, that's when I really became, for me, a well-rounded trainer. That's when I felt like people would say, "Oh, Nikki's one of the top trainers in the United States or in New York City." Now I do feel like that because I come from a different space now, you know?
Wow, I love that evolution, right?
Mhm.
From going to, a track star where you have a coach and the coach is telling you what to do and they're giving
Mhm.
you a program and they're doing all these things for you to, becoming a personal trainer, to being a spokesperson, to really now finding your fit, right? I
Yes,
love that.
yes,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. So that's, because you've now had that full evolution, what is that one thing that's out there in the wellness space, that myth, that untruth, whatever that misconception is that has bothered you over time as you've been able to evolve in your own wellness journey? What's that one thing you want to clear up for the world?
It's kind of multiple, to be honest with you. It's like you hear this is the best nutrition. This, you gotta do the zone, you gotta do the intermittent fasting, you gotta do all of this. Or you gotta take a hit class. You gotta, just all the things that you gotta do, you're supposed to do in order to lose weight. And where I just want to tell people first, let's find what makes you feel good. And first, we get to define what does good mean to you. To some people, it's finding things that are challenging. To some people, it's finding something that resonates here in your spirit. Because I believe if you find that some people intermittent fasting is for them. Some people, me, I'm a person I like to do the 5 meals, 5 to 6 meals a day. The big, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. That works for me. Find I think the biggest myth is when we get inundated with all this information on this is the
Mhm.
best and this is the best. I tell people, let's find what works for you, even if we need to experiment, because the physical aspect that's going to work for you, you're going to stick to it. You're going to be consistent. I always say it's tenacity, consistency, and gratefulness. Really, TD Jake says that, but I steal it for myself. It,
It could be yours still.
I
It could
steal
be
it for
yours
myself.
still.
But I say when you find what works for you, you stick to it. And that's when you see the results.
Mhm.
Prime example, my my former partner, former boyfriend, still good friends. He's a cyclist. He does triathlons. He's um, he's an amputee. That's another thing. My whole life changed in 2012. My boyfriend at the time was in an awful motorcycle accident. In order to save his life, they had to amputate his leg above the knee. Died, came back to life. Just you need to interview him. It's just his story is so great.
Yeah.
He's a triathlete. He's doing his thing. He likes to cycle outside. I have a bike that sits here in the air.
Collecting dust, taking up
Collecting,
space.
yes,
Yes.
taking up space. Now I'm a runner, but now with my knees and everything, that slowed down. So I had to find something that I love fit. What I do love, I love going to cycling classes. Like I'm coming to see you. I like going to cycling classes. You would think that because I like cycling classes, I would love riding my bike outside.
No.
It's okay. I prefer to
People,
run.
it's such a disconnect. It's either you
Yeah.
like indoors or you're out like outdoors.
Yeah, but I thought I would like it because I like to run and I like to be outside, and maybe that was gonna be the substitute for I have osteoarthritis really badly. I was a professional long jumper, so just the years I've run 3 marathons, the years of the wear and tear finally got to me. Hence now, I told y'all I tore my ACL. That's a whole another story. But, I thought that maybe finding that would be it, but that wasn't it for me. So I started finding as I tell people today, find your fit, find what makes you feel good. That's what it is. I'm telling myself the same thing. I'm in the journey with you. I do know what nutrition program works for me. So that's what I tell people. You hear, is this the best? Is this the best? Let's figure it out. What's going to fit
Right.
into your lifestyle? What's going to something you're going to stick to? That's what you get to do because that's when you're going to see
And
the
it's
best
like, oh my
results.
gosh, I tell my clients all the time, the best program is one that you actually are going to do.
Yes.
Because if you're
The
not doing it, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
The best one is the
matter.
one you're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my thing. The myths, this is the best one. This is the best one. This is the best one. And why? This is why. I say the best one is exactly what you said. The one that you're going to do, the one that's going to speak to your spirit, your mind, your emotions, because then that's what's going to help you get into it physically. That's what I say. Yep.
Oh my gosh, all the gems you're dropping with us today. All the gems. So I know you also specialize in working with women past a certain age point.
Yes, I
Tell us
do.
about that.
Well, it's funny. I didn't feel like that till I got there, you know.
Well, you got to be able to relate to your
I
client.
know. I cannot believe I'm 2 years away from 50. I don't feel like it. Well, my knees might feel like it, but my spirit doesn't feel like it. I don't know if it's because I don't have children. I own a children's theater company in Harlem, so those are my babies, my kids. But I don't feel like it. But what I got to when you get to your 40s, my women out there in their 40s, I used to hear about this when I was younger. There is a certain weight gain that you start to develop, and I remember being in my
Mhm.
30s, definitely in my 20s, like, that ain't gonna happen to me. I got my six pack, I'm dope. I'm still dope. But it was a shift. It really happened like 43, 44. I was like, what the hell is this? All these boobs came, these hips. But there was something about it that I loved, you know? And I started to have conversations with my friends. And then I thought about my clients when I was in my 20s that were in their 40s and their 30s. And I started to connect with them. But that started during the pandemic. During the pandemic, I started running my classes like everyone else online.
Sure.
And I got an influx of women in their 50s, 60s. My mom, who's about to be 75.
Mhm.
And these women started following me. And that's also where I started developing finding your fit. I started asking them, well, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? What
Mhm.
makes you smile? And coming from that angle, these women, I mean, I have an influx of women in their 60s that love Nikki.
Yes. It's because you're so amazing. But
Thank
yes,
you.
it's
Thank
because
you.
I think part of it is one because you're amazing, but
Thank
two
you.
because you're speaking the language that is relatable to people. So,
Yeah.
we saw the same thing when we started going online. I was getting an older clientele than what I was seeing for class, and when you said, "Well, hey, how come women come to class. I don't want to be in a room full of 20-year-olds doing this kind of foolishness. And I'm like, but we don't do foolishness. And so it was, one of the myths out there is when you're in these fitness classes that it's only young people. And it's truly not. Like classes are supposed to be designed for everybody in every fitness level. And if you're an excellent trainer, you make every single person feel comfortable and feel challenged.
Right.
And so that is one of the things that, I want to, for whatever age you are, all classes are for you. And
All
should be
classes
and
are
you
for
should
you.
come in and take up all the space you need and ask all the questions you need to ask and make sure that you're feeling comfortable in that space.
I agree.
Thank you for making sure that us, because I'm in the above 40 category.
Are you?
Yeah. Yes.
Girl,
I'm one of the, yeah. I'm both feet into the 40s.
We look great.
That's because we've been working.
I know.
We've been doing our wellness.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it has been such an honor to chat with you. I know you have so much to do today, so we're not going to keep you, but thank you so much. Now, let the people know, where can they find you? How can they learn more about your programs?
You can find me. I have a program coming, a 30-day program coming up called Finding Your Fit. That's my motto, Finding Your Fit with Nick. And it's going to be coming up. So stay tuned. You can follow me on Instagram at Get Fit with Nick. That's GetFitWithNick. Get Fit with Nick. You can also follow me on my website at www.getfitwithnick.com. So yeah, follow me. I also have a talk show called The Ladies First Chit Chat Crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. And we find a space for women to evaluate where they stand, and we inspire them to take action. So you can follow us there at the Ladies First Chit Chat Crew and follow us at the ladiesfirstchitchatcrew.com. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Thank you so much, Nick. I can't wait to work out with you. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing all these words of wisdom with us. And that's it, guys. You've heard from us at Wellness Redefined, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening to Wellness Redefined, a production of Ruth Leon Media. If you want to learn more about our guests, check out links in the show notes. We love to know your thoughts on wellness. Connect with us on Instagram. Our handle is wellnessredefined_. Or visit our website at harlem-cycle.com. Thanks again for listening. If you like what you hear, please share with a friend. We'll be back next time with more on Wellness Redefined. Until then, I'm Tamika Rochester. Take care.